Hey everyone, welcome to another Master Pairings with me, Bill Sisek, known as Dr. Bill in the beer community, and my good friend Steven Johnson, a fellow member of New Brew Thursday. Today we're going back to basics. I cooked up a really nice burger, put some great Muenster cheese on there, and we're going to have one of the best beers I find to go with burgers, and that's a classic pale ale. Probably the seminal beer in the craft brewing movement was Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. And this beer from Firestone, 4.8%, is right along the style guidelines that Sierra Nevada Pale Ale follows, and also Stone Pale Ale too. Yeah. They're both, all three of those are great, very popular pale ales out here on the West Coast.
These are great, just kick back and drink beers as well. If you don't feel like making amazing burgers, these are good too, by themselves.
Yeah, I mean 4.8, nice sessionable beer where you can sit and enjoy a few beers, watch the game, do whatever, play poker, whatever you enjoy.
Right on.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, that's nice.
Nice, clean hop profile.
Yeah. Good aroma, well balanced. Nothing is overpowering on this. Yeah.
It's just a perfect beer. Matter of fact, I highly recommend this beer as a gateway beer, a beer that I call a gateway beer to get macro beer drinkers into the beer style.
Right on.
I mean, you can fool them with a nice fruit beer or different things like that, but this is a clean, crisp beer that they'll be able to relate to, and I think it's really enjoyable. So that being said, let's go for these burgers, because
hell yeah,
I'm ready.
And we have a little Sriracha in here as well. That looks amazing. Oh my God, that's good.
Good burger.
Oh yeah. The Muenster cheese with the ground beef really mixes well with this beer. It brings out a little bit more of the maltiness.
Right.
Cuts down just slightly on the citrus backbone and the hops.
You get this nice balance. That's true, and it plays really well with the beer. They're very complementary. I think you pick up some notes of the hops towards the finish, and with the Sriracha, it plays really well. Pale ales and IPAs are really great for accentuating heat. They're great. Bitterness is great for counterbalancing sweetness, but it also can accentuate heat. So if you have like a great pale ale or IPA with something spicy, it'll just accentuate that heat, not make it unbearable, but just play with it. And
well, it brings the Sriracha out just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And Sriracha, I'd put Sriracha just flat out on my tongue and go at it.
Anyways, I think this is a really good pairing. I like pale ales with a lot of meats, whether it's English or American. They go really well. Roast beef, for example, classic English pale ale style goes great with the roast beef. But it's a great beer for the holidays. I love to have this when I'm enjoying football.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
And I know like this is good for when you're in like a 50-50 macro, like a macro craft bar where, most of it's Bud Light, Coors Light, whatever, but you can also find the Stone Pale Ale or the Stone Arrogant Bastard. This is a great beer to mix with your burger at like Champs or something like that.
Well, that's the beauty of beers like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale or Firestone or Stone or all the other great pale ales that are out there. That's usually one of the first beers that a bar that has predominantly macro beers and some craft beers, it's one of the first ones they usually pick up.
Right.
They'll do some imports, but usually if you look hard enough, you can find a pale ale. Yeah. And the other thing you have to watch out for in macro bars is if they get something a little too exotic, say they get an Arrogant Bastard or something bigger, a lot of times those kegs sit there for a long time because they don't push enough volume through. But pale ales are usually a pretty safe bet that they're going to be fairly fresh because the customers will drink them, and they'll drink them on a regular basis. And being a little lower in alcohol than some of the more extreme beer styles like a big IPA or a American Strong Ale, they're going to more of the patrons are going to be able to cope with them and drink them. There's nothing worse than trying somebody who's a macro drinker on their first Arrogant Bastard, which is, a fairly big beer at 7.2%, and having them drink 3 or 4, and then they go, "Wow, I don't want to do this again." You know what I mean? So you don't want to scare them away. You want to get them.
You don't want to get them drunk on craft beer the very first time.
Nice and sessionable. So, but this is a great beer. Thanks for coming out, Steven.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Boom.